Welcome to Manna at the Tap, a podcast of Tapestry Ministries. Each episode reflects on a daily Bible reading from the Revised Common Lectionary. I'm Gloria, a fellow traveler on a spiritual journey with the Tapestry community, and we refer to the daily Bible reading as our spiritual manna, nourishing our souls and fostering growth as we share insights and interpretations that enrich our spiritual lives. It's Friday, April the 11th, 2025, and it marks day 33 of the Lenten journey. The lectionary reading is from the New Testament book of Hebrews. The book is unique in that the author is unknown and the letter is not addressed to any Christian community in particular. One thing is sure, though, the audience receiving this letter is scattered throughout the Greco-Roman Empire. They're being persecuted for their association with Jesus, and they are suffering. The purpose of the letter is twofold. It encourages them not to give in to their suffering by abandoning their faith and not to leave the community, finding themselves in isolation. The lectionary text is the second chapter of Hebrews. The author begins the chapter by calling the audience to pay attention to what they are hearing. The ever-present reality for all of humanity is that we experience pain and suffering in this life, and we will inevitably die. Jesus also shared humanity with us in every respect. He was born as a babe in Bethlehem, and the author reminds us to imagine the reality and challenges his parents faced when King Herod sought to find and kill him, forcing his parents to escape into Egypt. We are reminded about the pain and the suffering of the massacre of the other innocent babies. Jesus is in solidarity with the human plight. He also suffered and died, and it was through his death that death itself, even the fear of death, was destroyed when he was resurrected on the third day. Because of that, the lectionary reading, verses 10 to 18, will reveal that we are brothers and sisters with Jesus and members of God's family. This is the story of our salvation. Jesus was the one who first made salvation a reality through his suffering, death, and resurrection. God was born as a baby to peasant parents. He was flesh and blood, just like we are. He was crushed by the religious and political powers of his day and nailed to the cross. He was tempted or tested to see if he would come down from the cross, but he did not. And we too are tested, and Jesus is able to help us when we are tested, and he invites us not to give up when we are suffering. God's heart was revealed through Jesus' death on the cross. Jesus is the merciful and faithful high priest in God's service. He made atonement for the people's sins. Under the old Mosaic law, a lamb was slain, symbolizing the shed blood as forgiveness for the sins of the people. But the priest had to perform the ritual continually and it never did take away sin. Jesus' death destroyed the power of death. He is God's merciful and faithful high priest, and he is the Lamb that shed his own blood so he might make atonement for our sin once and for all. Jesus is the pioneer, charting the path through death and making it possible for us to follow in his footsteps. His death and resurrection has broken the power of death from over us that was held by the devil. Jesus has also freed those whose lives have been held in slavery by the fear of death. Finally, the author reminds us that death is not the last word. Jesus trusted his Father's promises. Death no longer has the power to separate us from God's love because of the resurrected life given to us through Jesus Christ. And we can all say today, thanks be to God who made Jesus the perfect Savior.